chef revealed to have expelled black newlyweds discover their incredible restaurant empire. In the heart of a bustling urban neighborhood, the sun dipped low, casting golden rays on the painted murals and laughter of passers-by. Amid the vibrant chaos stood Marcus and Lisa, a young black couple with dreams that shimmered just beyond reach. They were passionate about food, colors bursting like flavors on their palates, envisioning a restaurant that celebrated their heritage, a place where every dish told a story. But just as they stood on the brink of their dreams, a celebrated chef sneered at them from the sleek, polished floors of his high-end restaurant, accusing them of lacking the integrity his culinary vision demanded, claiming their race would only tarnish the menu. The words cut deep, leaving them shattered and questioning everything they believed. That sting of rejection kept echoing in their minds. Until they flipped the narrative. Defiance crackled in the air as they decided to launch their food truck, a vibrant little beacon of hope, driven by an unstoppable love for cooking and an unwavering bond with their community. The sizzling of plantains and the heady aroma of spices effused bright colors into the streets, mesmerizing local customers and drawing them to their window where laughter and flavor intertwined. With every customer served, they built a spirited microcosm of culture and resilience, while the high-profile chef remained blissfully unaware, soaking in his cushy applause. Friends rallied around them, bringing support and encouragement that felt as warm and inviting as a Sunday dinner. Together, they fashioned a sanctuary where joy mingled with tough realities, finding comfort in shared meals and dreams that soared. Yet sleepless nights greeted Marcus and Lisa as they battled the financial strain of their new venture, each tear spilled over kitchen counters replaced by laughter shared between those moments of despair. They were juggling dreams against the hard truths of survival and even faced familial tensions, as loved ones cautioned against chasing impossible dreams. But they leaned into every challenge, every taste, growing stronger, closer, their love deepening into something profound, a lifeline. As they caught the attention of local food bloggers and praised reviews began to trickle in, hope blossomed. They felt the momentum shift, a swell of potential that began to crack the ceiling of their dreams. Just when it seemed their hard work might finally pay off, the dreaded chef struck again, desperately trying to quash their rising star. He crafted false narratives, poisoning their burgeoning reputation, turning peers and patrons against them, like a storm gathering dark clouds. In an electric public confrontation, voices raised and hearts thumped as the couple and the chef entered into a fiery dialogue about merit, race, and values. It was a moment pregnant with anticipation, as the crowd around them held their breath, watching for what would unfold. Would they rise, or would they crumble? Before we continue, I need to let you know about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, hit that bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can drop a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, let me know in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen. Now let's continue. As voices clashed, emotions peeled back, layers of anger and hurt, and an emotional reckoning dawned. This public stage became an illustration of their journey, a defining moment either to shatter their dreams once more or ignite a transformation. With hearts full of love and belief in their community, Marcus and Lisa faced the chef, ready to stand and reclaim their narrative. Uncertainty hung in the air, but one thing was clear: they would not go down without a fight. The crowd buzzed and the outcome was anyone's guess. The tension in the air thickened, the crowd electrified by the fierce exchange. Marcus's heart raced, his palms slick with sweat, but he stood tall beside Lisa. He could feel her steadying presence, a reminder that their fight was about more than just a reputation. It was about dignity, identity, and the community they loved. "What's your definition of merit?" Marcus challenged, his voice ringing clear. "Is it the color of a person's skin or the passion behind their craft?" The crowd murmured, the energy shifting as eyes swung toward the chef. The chef scoffed, a thin veneer of confidence cracking. "Culinary excellence is earned. It's about refinement, not simply flair. His words dripped with condescension, but the sparkle in Marcus's eye caught Lisa's attention. She knew that fire in him, it was the same one that ignited their kitchen. "No one knows flavor like we do," Lisa interjected, her voice unwavering. "Our dishes carry stories. They connect people. Our success is not just about us, it's about everyone we represent." The chef faltered, his prepared retorts vanishing like steam from a pot. He had underestimated them, believing a facade of prestige could suppress their spirit. The crowd, once divided, now surged with energy. They sensed a turning point, a collective heart beating in sync. "Who are you really fighting for?" Lisa pressed, her gaze piercing. "Us or the outdated notions that bind you?" The smiling faces in the crowd began to shift from skepticism to reverence, seeing the couple not just as vendors, but as representatives of their own struggles, their own dreams. Someone near the front shouted, "We're with you." Then, one by one, voices rose, chanting their support, drowning out the chef's ego. For a moment, Marcus felt the weight of possibility. They were more than just a food truck, they had become a movement, something larger than the sum of their parts. He shared a glance with Lisa, a silent conversation passing between them, an acknowledgement of their journey, the heartbreak, and, now, the hope blooming anew. The chef, sensing he was losing control, resorted to desperate words. "You think you can win with emotional pleas? This is a business. You don't belong in fine dining." With each sentence, the crowd grew louder, drowning out his disdain, as if announcing that passion and heart had a rightful place alongside culinary skill. It was a powerful realization that spilled over like a perfectly simmered sauce. "Maybe it's time for a new definition of what fine dining looks like," Marcus fired back, his spirit invigorated. The crowd erupted into cheers, igniting a flame no one could extinguish. As the dialogue continued, the tension faded into the background, transforming into laughter, shared stories, a celebration of diversity. The couple felt the weight of the chef's disdain begin to lift, replaced with something electric, the stirring of acceptance, the joy of unity. But as the echoes of their victory among the crowd grew, Marcus couldn't shake the feeling that this was far from over. The truth lingered in the air like unharvested spice, and while they stood tall today, more challenges lay ahead. The embers of the past still glimmered in the chef's eyes, and he was a storm gathering strength. With clarity and hope fueling them, Marcus turned to Lisa, whispering, "Whatever comes next, we'll face it together." She smiled, squeezing his hand, knowing their journey had just begun. In that moment of calm, they knew the battle wasn't merely about food or reputation, it was about choosing to uplift one another against forces that wished to divide. As the sun dipped below the horizon, they shared quiet exhilaration, unaware of the fierce storm on the horizon. But then, a familiar figure emerged from the crowd, one that sent a spark of dread through Marcus. This figure was a connection to the past, a shadow of old resentments. What secrets lay in their wake? The couple stood on the edge of their triumph, but was this a moment of healing or the prelude to a painful revelation? The figure moved through the crowd, a steady but slow approach that sent a chill down Marcus's spine. He could feel the air shift, the laughter fading to whispers, eyes darting back and forth. Lisa noticed the tension in his shoulders and leaned closer, her voice just above a whisper. "Marcus, who is that?" It was a man Marcus had hoped never to see again. Charles, the former owner of a rival food business, his presence carried an aura of authority but also an unmistakable air of disdain. He had once discarded Marcus and Lisa like worn-out pans when they had dared to dream big. Seeing his sharp suit and knowing smirk ignited old insecurities. Marcus felt the crowd's energy filter into apprehension, tentatively watching the confrontation unfold. Charles cleared his throat, stepping up next to the chef, a conspirator ready to pounce. "You think you can make a mark in this industry?" He taunted, his voice steady as a conductor leading an orchestra. "You're just a couple of kids playing chef." "Not anymore," Marcus shot back, surprising even himself with his conviction. But the lump in his throat was a heavy reminder of the past, a time filled with self-doubt and harsh words. As whispers circulated among the crowd about Charles's reputation, he drew closer, waving a hand dismissively. "You're living a fairy tale. The food truck life is fun and all, but this is where the real work begins," he sneered. "I've sacrificed to create a legacy. Isn't that right?" He gestured to the chef, who nodded in reluctant affirmation. Lisa stepped forward, her voice ice-cold but unyielding. "Legacy? Is that what you call it? Disregarding passion and purpose for a hollow reputation?" The crowd murmured in agreement, emboldened by her words. But Charles was unrelenting. "You should be grateful for what I did for this community. I opened doors. I shored up the foundation that supports you now." His words were designed to belittle, but they merely fanned the flames of rebellion simmering in Marcus. "By tearing others down?" Marcus countered, intensity building in the air. "You don't create legacy on the backs of those you oppress. You've built walls, not bridges." The atmosphere shifted again, the onlookers inching closer, hungry for the drama unfurling before them. Hope surged within Marcus. He began to see familiar faces in the crowd, reminders of why they had taken this leap. Those who had believed in them, who had suffered insecurities just like him. They were his strength now. Charles, cornered and desperate, leaned in, voice low and dangerous. "You really think you know what it's like to work hard? You think this applause will last? Trust me, it's just a flash in the pan. You'll crumble like the joke you are." "You underestimate us," Lisa said with resolve, voice firm. "Our passion gives us strength. It's not just about the food, we're fighting for our dreams and the dreams of our people." Marcus felt the thrum of unity washing over them, the support of the crowd shimmering like sunlight in dark waters. As he turned to face Lisa, heart pounding, he realized victory was more than just about culinary challenges. It was personal. This was their chance to confront a painful past, to defy the limitations others had placed on them. The crowd erupted with cheers, drowning out Charles's fading protests. But suddenly, the cheering turned to gasps as someone shouted, "What do you mean we'll crumble?" Marcus spun back toward Charles, catching a glimpse of something unexpected in the man's eyes, fear. "Wait, what do you know?" Marcus pressed, as the crowd hushed to await the revelation. Moments stretched painfully, the suspense thick like the aromas wafting from their truck. But as Charles stepped back, a smirk still plastered on his face, Marcus couldn't shake the feeling that a deeper betrayal was lurking just beneath the surface. What secrets could this man reveal that might change everything? With one breath, they stood on the precipice of understanding. But would it lead to healing or unparalleled devastation? Just as the crowd edged closer, their anticipation palpable, Charles hesitated but kept that insufferable smirk. Marcus could feel the weight of the moment pressing down, thick like the steam rising from their food truck. "Do you really want to know?" Charles's voice cut through the tension, now tinged with a false innocence. "Let's just say, not everything is as perfect as you like to believe. You and Lisa, with your quaint little dreams. There's a reason some people say small businesses never succeed. It's not some fairy tale ending you're hoping for, it's a downfall waiting to happen." His words struck Marcus like a slap. He saw Lisa falter at his side, her expression torn between anger and confusion. The camaraderie of the crowd now felt fragile, as if it could shatter from a single harsh word. "Stop hiding behind your twisted version of success," Lisa shot back. "You think we don't see through your lies? Your legacy is built on fear and exclusion. We are the future, and we're not going anywhere." Marcus's heart raced. Every face in the crowd, every nod of agreement fanned the flames his passion had ignited. They had fought tirelessly to get here, to prove that dreams mattered, that hard work could be the foundation of something real. What dragged them here was the belief that they were more than just a cliché, they were building a legacy of their own. Charles raised an eyebrow, leaning in for effect, his voice low and deliberate. "Ah, But do you really know what's at stake? The stories I could tell would unravel you. Remember, it was my influence that kept your food truck from being condemned, more than once. It wasn't just my business that thrived under the radar, it was yours too. A gasp rippled through the crowd, eyes darting between Marcus and Charles. Suddenly, it felt less like a confrontation and more like a perilous negotiation. A question lingered: had they been propped up by a crumbling foundation? Were you really helping us? Marcus mumbled, disbelief creeping into his voice. Or was it all just a game to you? Charles laughed, a sound that drove nails into the simple joy they'd fought for. Help? That's a strong word. I merely recognized potential. Yours has always been limited. Look around you, Marcus. Do you see a bright future, or do you see the ghosts of those who came before you? Marcus's stomach turned, uncertainty clawing its way back into his thoughts. The voices of doubt had silently crept in, echoing old fears. He bit back the cascade of emotions threatening to bury him. But just as he felt the ground beneath him shift, a voice broke through his mother's, "Don't let him get in your head, Marcus," she called, pushing against the crowd's edge. Her voice shone through like sunlight piercing a storm. You fought for everything. You own your story. In that moment, he felt a wave of clarity wash over him. Their fight was not just against Charles but against a system that snuffed out voices like theirs. This was a movement now, a community that stood together, rooted in shared dreams and tenacity. Are you ready to face the truth? Marcus asked firmly, staring into Charles's eyes. The crowd held its breath, collectively tense. Charles hesitated, his bravado wavering slightly. Truth? Don't you mean your naive perception of it? I've watched dreams die before my eyes, but Marcus was undeterred, his voice rising with fervor. Then you're about to witness resurrection. Together, we rise. At that moment, something shifted in the crowd. A ripple of encouragement surged through them. It wasn't just words anymore, it was a call to arms. But just as the tension reached a breaking point, a phone rang out loud and clear. The sound drew all eyes to the crowd's edge, where a young man stood holding a phone, face pale with shock. Hey! It's the news. They got a tip about the fire. They're about to go live in minutes. His voice trembled. Marcus felt the blood drain from his face. The fire? He turned back to Charles, disbelief flooding his senses again. What did you do? But before Charles could respond, the whispers of the crowd morphed into a crescendo. The fight was still on, but now, it was only the beginning of something deeper, more complicated than he had thought. To confront the past? Or to prepare for the storm approaching? Time would reveal more than just the secrets hidden in shadows. An uneasy silence settled over the crowd as everyone processed the news. Fear hung thick in the air, a potential catastrophe looming just around the corner. Faces twisted in shock while others wore determined expressions. Marcus could feel the energy shifting, hearts beating faster, anticipation mingling with dread. What are you gonna do? Someone shouted, their voice cutting through the tension. The crowd turned as one, all eyes on Marcus, seeking direction, seeking hope. He took a slow breath, steadying himself against the whirlwind of uncertain emotions. We'll face this together, he shouted back, feeling the swell of unity rise like tidewaters. We've built something incredible here. We can't let fear tear us apart. Charles crossed his arms, his expression a mix of amusement and calculated malice. What's the plan, Marcus? You going to charm your way out of this? His words dripped with disdain. That didn't work so well for you before, did it? Marcus's jaw clenched. While doubt still lingered in the corners of his mind, he couldn't let it overshadow the growing hope around him. This was more than just about him or their food truck. It was about the community they had fostered, the lives they had touched. Listen. Lisa interjected, stepping forward with fire in her eyes. Instead of crumbling in fear, we stand our ground. We've fought too hard to let someone like Charles dictate our narrative. If the media wants to point fingers, let them look at the truth we've built here. A thriving community. The crowd murmured, the sense of purpose blossoming. Marcus felt the warmth return to his chest as more people chimed in, sharing stories of support and resilience. They spoke of the individuals they had uplifted and the dreams they had nurtured. Each voice added strength, a brick laid on a foundation they built together. But then, the tension flared again when the young man holding the phone piped up. But what if it's true? What if this fire is more than just talk? We may have been targeted for a reason. That hit like a fist to the gut. Marcus sought the truth in the eyes of those he loved. He didn't want to believe it, but the unease meriting those whispered fears hovered above him like a storm cloud. Let us take control of this narrative, Marcus asserted, feeling adrenaline coursing through his veins. Let us tell our story before they can twist it into something ugly. We need to show them who we really are. Lisa nodded, determination in her gaze. We could set up an interview. If they're going live, we need to be part of that. We'll go head-to-head with them and demand to be heard. The crowd erupted into chatter, some arguing logistics, others strategizing how to engage with the news channels. Every idea blended into the next, fueled by fierce loyalty and growing urgency. Marcus looked for Charles, wanting to see how he would react. But the man only stood there, an amused expression on his face, as if reveling in the chaos. We can't let him dictate our future, Marcus said, turning back to the crowd. This is about more than just us. We're not just a business, we're a family. Whatever happens next, we face it together. A resounding cheer escaped the crowd, echoing through the parking lot. With that unity, Marcus felt a flicker of real hope sparked in the pit of his stomach. They would not be silenced. Just as they began formulating their plan, a blaring siren pierced through the air, cutting through their renewed spirit. The unmistakable sound of a fire truck screeching toward the scene. They're coming, someone whispered, their eyes wide as the realization hit. Now's the time to act. Marcus shouted, the pressure driving his voice higher. We need to be prepared for whatever is next. Together, we will not be just a story, we will be heard. With tension crackling around him, Marcus felt the weight of the moment intensify. Would they rise to meet this unexpected challenge, or would the fire consume everything they'd built? One truth loomed larger than any fear, the real fight was just beginning. As the fire truck approached, the crowd shifted, a collective breath held tight in uncertainty. All that lay ahead would demand everything they had. What awaited them under the blaring sirens could change their lives forever or give birth to a truth they had yet to fully embrace. The fire truck screamed closer, drowning out the murmurs of panic rippling through the crowd. Marcus could feel a tension that was almost tangible, the heartbeat of the community thrumming beneath the surface. The sirens blurred into a chaotic melody filled with urgency and fear, yet a part of him wanted to stand there, ground himself, and remind everyone that they were stronger together. As the truck pulled to a stop, its red lights flickering wildly, the fire crew began to pour out. Their uniforms were sleek and urgent, faces set grimly with purpose. Marcus's heart raced. The flames he had feared earlier were now being delivered in a tangible shape, and he had no idea how to face this event head-on. The crowd, which moments ago had been riled with resolve, became subdued. People began to whisper anxiously about possible evacuations and assessments. What did this mean for them? Would they have to abandon the dream they fought so hard to build? Let us stay together, Marcus urged, raising a hand in solidarity. We can't let this break our spirit. We have each other. Let us show them who we are. As if on cue, Lisa pushed through the thrumming crowd, her voice resolute. Marcus is right. We need to show our unity. They're here to help us, let us give them a reason to believe in us too. The fire crew moved swiftly but calmly. One firefighter approached Marcus, expression serious but gentle. "We got a call about a potential fire in the area. We just need to assess the situation, but rest assured, folks, we're trained for this. Just make sure everyone's okay," Marcus replied, trying to keep his voice steady. He turned to the crowd, their eyes wide and expectant. The heat of the moment pressed on him, and he knew it was essential to keep them focused. Lisa stepped forward, determination sparking in her eyes. "Why don't we take this opportunity to show everyone that we're still here, standing strong? All this chaos, we turn it into an advantage. Marcus, let us set up a live feed right here. They want a story? Let us give them one they can't ignore." Cheers erupted from the crowd, a renewed energy surging through them, washing away the fear. They rallied around Marcus and Lisa, phones held high, capturing the raw pulse of what was unfolding. Their food truck might have been under threat, but the passion they built was more than a mere vehicle. It was a beacon, a representation of everything they accomplished. In that moment, as the firefighters continued their work, Marcus felt something shift deep inside him. The necessity of their cause became clearer. This wasn't just a moment of crisis, it was a chance to spread their story wider than ever before. They weren't just a community seeking survival, they were individuals with voices that demanded to be heard. "Oh, should we hashtag it?" Someone shouted, a glint of humor injecting lightness into the atmosphere, and laughter followed, creating a ripple of warmth amongst the crowd. As they made plans to go live, a rumble of pride echoed through Marcus. They were becoming more than just a food truck taking on a challenge, they were a community, poised to define their narrative. But just as they were about to position their camera, a distant but distinct sound caught Marcus's ear, the crackle of a radio transmission accompanied by urgent voices. Amid the excitement, a shadow of doubt crept back in. What if this was just the beginning? I think there is something more happening," Marcus murmured, glancing toward the fire crew as they leaned in to speak with one another, heavy with concern. Feeling that familiar weight settling in his chest, he wondered if they had truly prepared for the obstacles ahead. As the camera began to roll, a sense of unease gnawed at him. The moment was alive with possibility, but what if the story about to unfold was more than they could bear? The sirens might have faded, but a storm was brewing just around the corner, one that could either bind them closer or threaten to tear them apart. "Get ready, because this fight is just getting started." The camera switched on, bright lights glaring and shifting focus on Marcus as a wave of energy pulsed through the crowd. They were riled now, a mixture of hope and anxiety in their eyes. The world outside fell away as they concentrated on what he was about to say. Marcus felt it, the anticipation, the support enveloping him like a warm hug. "We're live," he announced, steadying his breath. "People need to see the love and hard work that brought us here today. We're not just a food truck. We're a community. And together, we can face anything." Behind him, Lisa nodded enthusiastically, her arms raised, rallying everyone. "Together," she echoed. The crowd repeated it back, a mantra that filled the air with determination. But even as they chanted, Marcus's thoughts sharpened back to what he had overheard earlier. The firefighters were gathered close, their voices low, and as much as he wanted to ignore it, a dread settled in the pit of his stomach. "Are we sure it's safe?" he whispered to Lisa, nodding toward the firefighters. Her smile faltered slightly as she glanced back, concern flickering in her eyes. "Do you think they would tell us if?" Before she could finish, a firefighter stepped forward, beckoning them over. The crowd hushed, a collective breath held as Marcus and Lisa approached. The firefighter's grim face spoke volumes. Waiting for him to speak felt like an eternity. "Folks, we're tracking a wildfire that's moved closer than expected. We need to evacuate, but I want you all to know that we're on top of it. Your safety is our priority." His voice soothed even as panic clawed at Marcus's insides. "Evacuate? But we can't. Not now, not after everything," Marcus blurted, his voice rising above the murmurs of the crowd. The firefighter nodded, empathetic. I understand. It's hard, but we can't be reckless. Safety first. I promise we'll keep you updated. Fear rippled through the crowd, their earlier resilience now shaken. Marcus turned to face them, heart pounding. Listen. We've fought too hard to let this defeat us. I know it's scary, but if we stay focused and work together, we'll get through this. A voice from the back piped up. What about our food truck? Our supplies? What do we do with everything? Yes. Another shouted. We can't just leave it all behind. The rumble grew louder, and Marcus rubbed his temples, frustration and fear colliding inside him. They couldn't abandon their dream, a dream that had already gathered so much life and light. Yet, the family was right, abandoning the truck now could mean losing everything they fought for. Okay. He raised his hands for calm, heart racing with urgency. Here's what we're going to do. We work together. We can pack it up, we can save what we can. We're going to find a safe place for it, then we'll regroup. The fear in the crowd morphed into determination again. They started moving, gathering supplies and equipment, urgency pulsed through their veins. Together, they formed a human chain, hauling boxes, pushing the food truck, hearts beating in sync with a sense of purpose. But as they loaded the last of the supplies, doubt loomed in the air. Would they truly escape unscathed? Marcus caught sight of the distant smoke curling lazily into the sky, a reminder of the threat that loomed. What if they weren't faster than it? What if all this was for nothing? As night began to settle in, leaving only flickers of orange against the darkening sky, Marcus felt a tug of foreboding creep back in. What do we do if it gets worse? Suddenly, a loud crash echoed from a few blocks away, a sound that jarred the community into silence. The flicker of flames suddenly popped through the trees, and Marcus's pulse quickened again. Get ready. It looks like it's not over yet. The chaos erupted around them, the flames crackling like angry spirits in the night. The orange glow flickered through the trees, casting eerie shadows on the faces of the crowd. Marcus felt his heart roll into his throat. Panic surged like wildfire itself. Move! Move! He urged, adrenaline kicking in. Lisa was beside him, her face tight with fear, but her eyes still sparkled with determination. Let us get to the truck. We can't leave our stuff. She shouted over the rising din. Marcus nodded, leading the charge. They raced back to the food truck, its metallic exterior gleaming under the plight of impending disaster. The sounds of crackling branches and a distant siren echoed ominously, urging them forward as if the world was reminding them they were in a race against time. More voices joined in, calling out for help. Over here. We've got supplies. Grab the fire extinguisher. He could see people moving quickly now, fueled by purpose. The dread in his stomach mingled with a surge of pride. They were a community, united by a common cause, but the fear of failure loomed large. Would they really manage to save everything? As they reached the truck, Marcus felt a wave of emotions crash over him. It was more than metal and wheels, it was their dreams, their late nights, their laughter over shared meals. The small joys that had built the foundation of something truly special. Hang tight. He shouted, trying to keep the group focused. We'll get it all packed. Lisa, check the supplies in back, I'll organize the front. She nodded, moving swiftly, while the others began unloading boxes from the back of the truck. The smell of burning wood filled the air, and Marcus stole a glance toward the horizon. It wasn't just a faint glow anymore, the flames were spreading. Marcus! Someone yelled from the side. He turned to see one of the volunteers, eyes wide with shock. The flames are coming this way. His heart sank. Everyone, we've got to move faster. Panic was drawing closer, but he refused to let it take hold. Let us save what we can. The crowd, now a well-oiled machine of urgency, sprang into action, filling boxes, grabbing loose ends, shoving everything into the cramped truck. It was frantic, chaotic, but amidst the fear, there was a rhythm, a determination binding them. "Marcus!" Lisa's voice cut through the clamor again, laden with urgency. "The fire is getting closer. What do we do if we can't save it all?" He paused, taking a breath. "Then we save what matters most." He shouted back. "People! Let us get back together, we'll find safety and regroup." As he yelled out instructions, another crash erupted nearby, this time closer. The sensation of dread seeped into the ground under his feet. The crowd was moving like a tidal wave, but Marcus found his eyes locked on the encroaching danger. Resilience rang in the air as the people fought against their fear, yet with each passing second, their chances dwindled. "Keep moving," he urged, but the echoes of despair began to creep through the crevices of their determination. His mind raced. Were they too late? In a flash of inspiration, he gripped Lisa's hand. The safe place, the barn. He remembered a nearby barn that could shelter them until the danger passed. "Let us go," Lisa shouted, and they burst into action, rallying the others. But as they moved, a sudden gust of wind swept through, carrying the flames toward them, quicker and fiercer than they anticipated. "Run!" Marcus yelled, pushing himself forward, pulling Lisa and a few others along. The fire's roar sounded like an angry beast, chasing them. They had to outrun it. It was now or never. With every breath laden with smoke, Marcus pushed himself harder. Would they make it? The barn was barely a blur ahead. If only they could reach it, find shelter, breathe again. He caught a glimpse of the fire's angry tendrils grasping at the earth behind them. "Stay together!" he shouted, but the chaos of flight and fear overwhelmed the human chain they had built. Would they all make it to safety? As they rounded the corner, panic surged forward again. "Marcus!" a voice cried. "Not everyone is behind us." His heart dropped. The realization hit harder than the flames ever could. Could he leave anyone behind now? With the barn barely in sight, he froze for a breath. And just like that, their fight for survival became a fight for each other. The night suddenly felt darker, more ominous. As time stumbled ahead, a new flicker of resolve ignited within, and he took a step back toward the flickering flames, heart racing wildly. What if the hardest fight hadn't yet begun? What if their community's fierce spirit was about to be tested beyond anything they ever imagined? Heart racing, Marcus turned back toward the chaos, ignoring the way the heat from the flames prickled his skin. Every instinct screamed for him to run for safety, yet something deeper urged him to stand his ground. He couldn't just let go of the people around him, not now. "Lisa, stay here," he shouted as he turned towards the direction of the last voices. The flames danced with a life of their own, snaking toward vulnerable patches of grass, hungrily consuming everything in their way. He felt the panic in his chest rise and fought to breathe through it. "Marcus, no!" Lisa cried out, her voice tinged with terror. "We can't go back. We're almost there." He knew the barn was close enough, but there was a gulf of uncertainty now separating them from their friends. His heart ached with the thought of those who might be left behind. "I can't just leave them," he yelled back, determination fueling his steps. "Then I'm coming with you," Lisa insisted, racing after him despite the danger. Together, they weaved through the throng of frantic people, avoiding debris and flames. The voices behind them grew smaller, engulfed by the roar of the fire. Marcus took note of the faces around him, some wide-eyed with fear, others resolute. Their shared vulnerability stitched them tightly together, forming something more powerful than just a fleeting community. He found himself pulling along one of the volunteers, an elderly woman named Clara, who had dropped her fire extinguisher in the shoving crowd. "This way. Over here," he shouted, pointing at a shadowy figure darting through the trees. The group raced deeper into the thickening smoke, their collective energy unlike anything he'd ever experienced. The burning brightness seemed to amplify everything: their heartbeats, the smell of charred wood, and the cries for help. Marcus's hands tightened into fists, filled with determination. Just a little more. He encouraged everyone, glancing at the barn as it loomed closer, the beams of its structure standing as a stark contrast to the chaos around them. Hope surged through him. It felt within reach, like a lifeline in turbulent waters. As they approached the barn, Marcus caught sight of a dark figure stumbling in the shadows. His heart leapt. "Hold on!" he shouted and turned towards it. It was Jacob, a young man who had been working in the food truck. He was struggling to stand, an injured leg buckling under him. "No! Jacob!" Lisa yelled, breaking away from their group to reach him. "Keep going. Get to safety." Jacob croaked, but Marcus wouldn't hear it. He sprinted to his side, supporting him under the shoulder. "Not without you," Marcus insisted, half dragging Jacob along. They pushed forward, breaths coming in sharp bursts, fear clawing at Marcus's chest. The flames were relentless, the world narrowing into a tunnel. Every step felt like crossing a tightrope over an abyss. Just as they reached the barn doors, the fiery grasp of the blaze roared nearby, sending a wave of heat that momentarily stunned them. Marcus glanced back. The sight of towering flames made his blood run cold. Would they all make it? Inside, he shouted, urging Jacob and Lisa in before himself. Once through, the chaotic world outside thickened into distant noise. "Are we safe?" Jacob gasped, leaning heavily against a wall. The barn's interior smelled of hay and dust, an ironic comfort to the chaos they had just fled. "We need to regroup," Marcus whispered, heart hammering. But the fight wasn't over yet. Outside, the fire still raged, and those who had been left behind weighed heavily on his mind. Would they find a way to save everyone? The uncertainty loomed, an unwelcome guest in this temporary haven. Just as hope flickered, the sounds beyond the door changed. They were joined by more voices, cries from the dark. "Help! We need help!" And just like that, Marcus felt the weight of their community pulling him back toward the flames, igniting a new urgency deep within. Would he answer the call again? Marcus stood in the dim light of the barn, every fiber in his being wrestling with the choice before him. He could feel the heat outside pressing against the wooden walls, the sounds of panic mixing with the urgency of those still in the fray. The images of their friends caught in the chaos filled his mind, faces he couldn't abandon again. "Marcus, we can't go back out there," Lisa protested, her hands trembling at her sides. "There's too much risk." But all he could think was how they had built this community, this family, on understanding and support. He couldn't just huddle in safety while others faced danger alone. "I can't let them down, Lisa." "Not again," he said, steadying himself against the wall, determination washing over him. The barn filled with anxious murmurs as they gathered others around, the atmosphere turning heavy with uncertainty. Clara's eyes glimmered with concern but lit up as Marcus shared his heart. "If we go back, we can help. We need to save our people, they're counting on us." A warmth spread through the group. Hearts raced in rhythm, and even as fear surged, an electric current of unity sparked. Someone in the back shouted, "I'll go with you." Tension morphed into resolve, a cohort of hands raised high. Lisa bit her lip, looking torn but slowly nodded in agreement. "Fine. We're all in this together," she said, the fire inside her rekindled. "But if we do this, it means we protect each other, no matter what." "Yes," another voice cried, as a wave of support surged around them. Their bond strengthened. They could create a path out of this disaster. "Then let us go," Marcus announced. "For Jacob, for everyone. We fight together." In unison, they rushed toward the barn entrance, prepared for whatever awaited them outside. As the doors opened, a wall of heat and smoke hit them, thick and suffocating. The distant crackle of flames roared angrily. A fresh dread washed over Marcus, but he fixed his eyes ahead, ready to weave through the chaos. The group fanned out, seeking to help anyone they could. "Over here!" Marcus shouted, his voice cutting through the clamor. "We need to help anyone who is stuck. Keep your eyes peeled." Somehow, amid the turmoil, he spotted familiar faces. A young woman, frightened but alive, stumbled toward him. "I thought you were all gone," she cried, holding on to a toolbox like it was a lifeline. "Not yet," Marcus shouted back, pulling her close. "We're here to help." He turned to the others, "Let us pair up. We'll move in teams." Lisa and Clara took one side, while Marcus galvanized another group toward the flames, their mutual courage blazing fiercely through the shadows. Together, they became a communal force woven by determination. As they navigated through the smoke, each inch gained felt like a triumph. They would bring home more than just food, they'd reclaim the spirit of their community. "Help! They're trapped over here!" A shout rang from the side, pulling Marcus's focus. With renewed purpose, they squeezed through the crowd, the flames curling threateningly at their edges. Time felt distorted as adrenaline surged through them, and for every soul they saved, their own lives felt more intertwined. They became the living embodiment of community love, unity forged in the fire of struggle. And then they reached Jacob, standing against the wall, fighting against his pain. "Go back," he urged. "You shouldn't have risked never." Marcus cut him off, feeling joy swell in his chest. "We are stronger together, Jacob. Now, come on." He pulled Jacob close, the others linking arms. And as they moved, the flames dialed their intensity up another notch. "Marcus!" Lisa yelled, just as a powerful gust sparked another blaze to life. "This way!" They scrambled, urgency coursing through their veins once more. The weight of fear, a reminder of what was at stake, urged them forward, igniting every ounce of their will. And just as they cleared a path, laughter sounded bright in the distance. It cut through the tension, asking if it was real. "Are we here?" someone questioned, their voice mingled with surprise. Marcus halted, blinking at the sight before him. In the clearing stood their community, led by those they thought could never return. Survivors with hands clasped, watching as they emerged from the shadows, carrying with them stories of resilience. Max from the nearby cafe grinned widely, a wild determination glowing beneath soot-smeared cheeks. "We're not done yet," he rallied, a rush of pure energy fueling the crowd. "We fight together, as family." Clara shouted, her voice like a clarion call. The flames had brought them together, but it was the hope among them that truly shone. They could together transform tragedy into rebirth. As one, the crowd surged forward with renewed strength, the fire casting long shadows behind them. The loud crackling of flames mingled with the undertones of laughter and cheers, painting a stark contrast, a testament to standing brave amidst turmoil. Marcus locked eyes with Lisa, and their shared understanding ignited something powerful. They had faced uncertainty, tears, and laughter, but through it all, love and commitment had always remained resilient. "Whatever happens next, we rebuild," Lisa whispered, squeezing his hand tightly. Together, he vowed, confidence surging through him, their hearts beating as one. And at that moment, surrounded by community, they realized their restaurant empire would not just be rooted in food. It would flourish as a radiant testament to love, diversity, and the relentless spirit that kept them connected in a world that tested their strength. They burst through into the clearing, a cadre of hope ready to face whatever lay ahead. They ran toward the future, each step brighter, each heartbeat louder, determined to show the world the true power of their dreams. The fire behind might rage, but the light ahead was blinding. This was just the beginning of their journey, a magnificent, unstoppable journey toward building a legacy that defied every obstacle, anchored by a love that could never be extinguished. The crowd cheered, voices rising above the crackle as they stepped into the future, redefining what it meant to gather around a table united in purpose and strength. The story of Marcus and Lisa was only a glimpse of what was to come, and they knew one thing for certain: they were ready to share their truth with the world. Now is the time to rally behind your dreams. If you can feel the energy coursing through this story, you need to subscribe now. Don't miss a single moment of our journey as we unfold more incredible tales. Leave a like right now to show your support. Your love fuels us. We want to hear your thoughts. Comment below about what you felt during this transformative journey. And don't wait not even one more second to share this video with at least 5 friends who need to see this transformation. The world deserves to know the power of community and bravery. Let us spread this message far and wide.